In this video help, we're going to be covering the customer list view screen. And this is the video for that by clicking on it. Let's go to that screen. The list view screen, what it does is it lists individual records in the customer screen area. And what we're going to do is, in this case, we just have some filler records we put in there. And I wrote in there overwrite, which when the basic app is delivered, all you do is access the record here and then put the information in there for that particular person. Let's look down here. I made one for myself. I put my name, my address, Sedona is where I live, Arizona, and the zip code. Let's go ahead and take a look at that record as you're coming out of a list view. Now, I want to point out some things depending on if you're looking at this on an iPad or the desktop. This will function slightly differently on the web browser if you're looking through it on a, say for example, an Android phone or an iPhone or other device. Because the iPhone and iPad have a client-server app for the cloud, it allows you to access the cloud server from this screen or using this screen, whatever it is. And then what you do is if you actually edit in this screen, you have to commit those changes that you made or revert back and not keep the changes. So if I went in here and edited this information for the address, I would have to commit that information change and then or revert it back. You can also use the do find, which starts a find mode, and what that does when you click it, it will go ahead and drop down the menu and you can pick the customer that you want to go to. In this case, I'll put myself in there, and all you have to do is say perform the find, and then that becomes the active record. If you looked in a broader sense and you picked maybe the city of Sedona, you would get all the records that were for Sedona to the number of them that are in the app. If you are on the web browser, be aware that at the top of the screen on the web browser, there is a count for the records in selection that says how many records were picked when you picked this and how many are the total number of records in the application. And this works on both the iPhone and iPad as well, and on the browser at the top menu. So what that does for you is it tells you, if you do a find, how many records are in the current selection and how many records exist in the entire database but are not shown. If you want to show all the records again on this listing, you would click on the show all records, and what it would do is replace all the records on the screen that were in selection. And this is currently, there's 7 records in the entire database at this point. So those are the records that are currently in selection. I have also added a default record in here that if you're working with this application, I put number 1 here so that when it drops into the browser search for a person, that will always come to the top. And what that is that is a walk-in customer, where this is a person that did not leave information about themselves and paid with cash, and they're not going to come back. Then you would want to just go ahead and use the walk-in client because it's a one-off type of a client. They may never come back again. You want to put people in that are going to be repeat customers to track the information that is in the record. Let's go look at that. In the record, if you are in the customer screen, some of the vital information is their name and address, the city and zip that they're from, their telephone number, and the 2 emails are open. You can have 1 or more emails. If you have an additional email, you can put those in the UDF fields if you want to. Same thing goes for telephone numbers, additional, and any extra facts that are in the user-defined fields to cover things that you need additional fields for that are not covered at the top of the screen. This is the list view for the customer record. So if you have any questions about that, you can get in contact with us on the support site by clicking this icon. And from there, you can send us an email or ask for help by phone. Thank you.